This morning's devotional in the Glorify app just really spoke to me. It's based on 2 Kings 5, verses 9 to 14. So Naaman went with his horses and chariots and waited at the door of Elisha's house. But Elisha sent a messenger out to him with this message: "Go and wash yourself 7 times in the Jordan River. Then your skin will be restored and you will be healed of your leprosy." But Naaman became angry and stalked away. "I thought he would certainly come out to meet me," he said. "I expected him to wave his hand over the leprosy and call on the name of the Lord his God and heal me. Aren't the rivers of Damascus and Abana and the Pharpar better than any of the rivers of Israel? Why shouldn't I wash in them and be healed?" So Naaman turned and went away in a rage. But his officers tried to reason with him and said, "Sir, if the prophet had told you to do something very difficult, wouldn't you have done it? So you should certainly obey him when he says simply, 'Go and wash and be cured.'" So Naaman went down to the Jordan River and dipped himself 7 times as the man of God had instructed him, and his skin became as healthy as the skin of a young child, and he was healed. Naaman had everything the world values. He had power, reputation, access to the king, and stories of victory that everyone knew. But he also had leprosy. Both realities lived in him at once, and the second made the first increasingly irrelevant. But when he heard there was a prophet in Israel who could heal him, he went. But he went the only way he knew how. With all his status, all his influence, and a clear picture of how it should all unfold. He arrived with a script already written, certain of what the prophet should do, how he should approach him, even what he should say. Elisha didn't even come out to meet him. Instead, he sent a messenger with a simple instruction: wash 7 times in the Jordan. And that by itself was enough to offend Naaman, not because it was difficult, but because it felt too simple, too ordinary. It didn't match the level of importance he believed he deserved. It's easy to see Naaman's pride from the outside, but his struggle is closer to home than we might think. We often come to God the same way, with expectation, with our own script for how he should move and what a real miracle should look like. And when he feels way too simple or different from what we imagine, frustration starts to rise. Serving God means saying yes to him and no to ourselves, and that's harder than it sounds. Naaman had to listen to the quiet wisdom of his servants to remember what really mattered. It wasn't about the method, but the healing. And when he finally humbled himself and dipped into the river 7 times, his skin was restored like that of a child. The miracle was waiting for him on the other side of humility. Perhaps God's leading you down a simpler path than the one you had in mind, and that can be hard to accept. Pride wants the miracle to come on our terms, in our timing, according to our script. But faith invites us to trust and obey, even when the step in front of us feels too small for the weight of what we are carrying. Today, take a moment to examine your heart. Where might you be resisting the Lord's voice because it looks different from what you expected? Step into the Jordan He's set before you, even if it feels too small, too simple, and discover what the miracle may be waiting for you on the other side of your surrender. Amen.